Oh yeah, we're back with some more peak fiction. And as you can see, this is a fairly quick one, but a banger nonetheless. Cause in One Piece episode 1145, we got the Luffy going crazy with his Toon Force once again. So grab your golden Oreos and pink lemonade. Them shits fire. Now with the heat. So the scene opens up to Luffy chatting with Dory and Broggy. Meanwhile, Jinbe is looking up at Mars in shock due to Mars' insane haki. But Jinbe knows there's no time to be distracted, so he makes his way to Zoro and tells Zoro to slide since he already packed up Lucci. But Zoro's like, nah gang, don't be mistaken, that nigga is not down for the count. This nigga Lucci really standing on business. Can a fade be that serious? Like I know he got a job to do, but damn bro, out here trying to get active on 1 HP. Then Sanji tapped in with Jinbe asking him if he got Zoro yet. Meanwhile, Lucci got the tweak and completely lost his mind. Now I'm not gonna hold you, as I was watching this I was thinking to myself, didn't this nigga Jinbe say he was gonna stand on business even if Zoro's fight with Lucci didn't conclude? And you know, Jinbe's a man of his word cause he did exactly that, completely libroing Zoro. Just look at how he's holding him, really treating Zoro like a toddler. So Lucci made his way to commence the fade, but Jinbe's like, I'm sorry Lucci, but I gotta cut it short. And with that, Jinbe used Fishman Karate 5000 brick chop. But you gotta give this nigga Lucci props cause even with all of his injuries, he was still capable of blocking the attack. Niggas' endurance in One Piece is insanely high. But yeah, Lucci is now reverted back to his normal state. Meanwhile, the gang made their escape. And that's when Mars pulled up staring down at Lucci, had that man completely stunned like as Lucci couldn't believe his eyes. And Mars asked Lucci where is York. Meanwhile, Zoro and Jinbe's on the move with Zoro looking up at Mars like what is that? Meanwhile, Mars asked Lucci again, where is York? But Lucci was too shocked to speak until he locked in and answered his question, letting him know that York is held captive in the control room on the 4th floor of Building A. But he wasn't done yet, as he gives Mars extra information and tells him that the two who just got away from here were Zoro and the first son of the sea, Jinbe. Lucci gave Mars their government and nickname. It's clear as day that ratting is bro's specialty. Then goes on to let him know that 5 of the Straw Hats and 2 Vegapunks are preparing to escape to the rear entrance of the Labo phase, and that there are also 85 Cypher Pole agents at Fort Seraphim in the basement of the lab, as well as letting him know that Vegapunk's broadcast will resume in 6 minutes. Not gonna lie, I'm impressed. The fact that he kept up with all that information despite everything that took place is crazy. So Mars congratulates Lucci and starts to take his leave. But Lucci's like, hold on gang, you think I poured you all that information for no reason? Big dog, you owe me a favor on some equivalent exchange type shit. My injured partner is still in the control room. Spare my nigga, bruh. But these Gorosei have no heart. Nigga talking about some that'll prove difficult. Like nigga, what? Then took off talking about some insects or something to be crushed despite one's best efforts. Like what's up with these Gorosei calling niggas insects? Who they feeling like? Now panning on the other side of things, Luffy, Dory, and Broggy were chatting as Dory and Broggy speaks on Luffy's appearance and asked him how he knows the appearance of Elbaz, god of legend. But Luffy has no clue what they're talking about and told them let's talk later as Saturn and Warcury are back on their feet. Now unfortunately Luffy can't commence the fade cause they have to prioritize escaping. But Dory and Broggy's like, we already know gang, we just met Sanji and he said when you meet Luffy run to the back of the island. They also let Luffy know about how they read about him in the newspaper and came to help them escape as it said they were surrounded by the Navy, and that it also said that Straw Hat Luffy was an arch villain holding Vegapunk hostage. Luffy's like, oh them niggas capping like that, how funny. So Dory blows his horn signaling to his crew that they met up with Luffy. So the giants head back to the ship getting ready for their escape. But Warcury's like, oh yeah, well let me do the same thing then. And as Warcury screams, Luffy's just laughing. He is not taking bro seriously. Meanwhile, the entire island is getting affected by Warcury's scream, as well as part of Marines getting knocked out by Warcury's insane haki. But let's run it back real quick. I want y'all to peep something cause these animators really be cooking with One Piece. Cause as Warcury screamed, you can see the lightning streaks takes the shape of a boar, which in case you didn't know, Warcury's transformation is a boar. Though not any ordinary boar, but the Chinese mythology demon boar called a Finxi. But yeah. And then the fairly obvious animation of the streaks of lightning forming Warcury's eyes. Like you can tell Toei really enjoy animating Peak. But yeah, as Luffy's trying to hold steady, he starts to get overwhelmed and his cloud stitch, scar clothes, and eyes popped off his body. So Luffy told Dory to get them for him, so Dory goes for the save. And just look at how Luffy's still capable of blinking his eyes even though they are detached from his face. Like that's wild. But yeah, Luffy starts to put it all back together like they were stickers. Now peep how this man Luffy broke the 4th wall once again as he uses the cameraman's camera lens as a mirror while he put his eyeball and Stitch back together. Bro really going crazy with the Toon Force. Like the fact that he has resistance to durability negation and can ignore damage as a whole is crazy. But yeah, meanwhile Warcury's staring them down and called them insects. Why am I not surprised? And Broggy's like, who is he? Which Luffy's like some arrogant guy from the world government. So Warcury pulls up trying to dice Luffy to pieces, but Dory and Broggy blocked his attack with Svalin's Sun Shield. Now this is completely random, but peep how someone at Toei forgot to give Broggy a 5th finger and messed up the color palette for part of Dory's finger. Just something I noticed while rewatching the episode. But yeah, Warcury's like, you with whom we share an ageless fate, do you have any idea who he is? Which Dory and Broggy's like, yeah, of course he's our friend. and they smacked Warcury so hard the cameraman had to run it back a few times. Then Saturn popped out the cut like I can care less for the relationship between clustered insects, but while he still caught that, I must wipe him out from world history for good. And he shoots purple balls at them. Now Luffy, assuming they were poisonous, told Dory and Broggy not to touch it, as Luffy grabs a tree and starts biting into it, creating a baseball bat. Then created a bucket of yellow paint from his hockey cloud and starts to paint the bat, not forgetting to add his lucky number 56, as well as whipping out a batting helmet with the same 2 numbers. Mind you, he's doing all this in the middle of Saturn's attack that's still in motion. And with a single strike, he sends all the balls back with a big smile on his face, cheesing hard as hell, and he tells Saturn he can have his poison balls back. But the moment the purple balls made contact with Warcury and Saturn, they exploded, had Luffy in shock. So one of the giants let Dory and Broggy know that the fire will block off the forest. So Dory's like, I bet, let's slide, and Broggy's like, them niggas got blown to bits. But Luffy's like, nah gang, they're immortal cause no matter what he does, they just regenerate. And they got the running with a big smile on their faces. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, as Lilith, the extra fine ass, along with Chopper and Edison are trying to push the Thousand Sunny from the giant bamboos, Usopp's not even assisting. Meanwhile, Nami looking fine as always, Brook watching to see if the ship budges, and Robin fine ass is resting. So Nami gets in contact with Zoro and Jinbe, telling them to hurry up, which Jinbe lets Nami know that they're on their way. But unfortunately, the boots were running low, so Jinbe shuts them off and ran on foot, moving even faster than he was flying. Now panning on the other side of things, as the gang is nearing the ship, they see 3 vice admirals waiting by it, as the vice admirals are planning to stop Bonnie from boarding the ship. Meanwhile, Sanji starts to get a bad feeling. Now panning on the other side of things, York's in cuffs begging to be set free, so Kaku's like she's being noisy, and Stussy extra fine ass tell York to be quiet for a while. Then suddenly Mars pulled up, had everyone in shock, and Mars asks York where's the room on the monitor, but York isn't aware of who he is and is too scared to care about what he's asking, as she just wants that monster out of her sight. Meanwhile, my nigga Kizaru is still distressed as one of the Marine soldiers check up on bro on some man shit. You feel me? But Kizaru's like, let me just rest now. And panning on the other side of things, the Iron Giant Emmett finally awakens, and as it's walking through the flames looking like an absolute menace, it starts to say sorry Joy Boy. Now I'm not gonna hold you, I'm so close to the 8-minute mark, so come chill with your boy and sip some jasmine tea while I stall for a few seconds. Also, thank you for making it this far. You a real one. And while you're here, if you haven't already, take this time to hit that like button and subscribe, gang. We on the journey to gather 100k members of the crew. Your boy trying to have a fleet. You feel me? Also, get ready for the month of October, cause it's spooky season, so your boy finna be cooking up all types of Halloween specials and horror movies throughout the month of October. You know, do some a little different, you feel me? And don't worry, I'ma still be covering One Piece as per usual, because like it's peak, as well as covering returning anime that is releasing this year, like My Hero Academia that is making its return with its final season being season 8 that is set to release October 4th, as well as One Punch Man making its return with season 3 that is set to release October 5th. Also, I cooked up the last 3 episodes of Down to Dawn season 2, so I'll be uploading that very soon. Now that'll do. Thank you for your time. And yeah, that was One Piece episode 1145 in all its greatness. You already know this episode is absolutely pure heat, a solid 10 out of 10 for me, cause One Piece never miss. Now, with that being said, if you made it this far, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. We moving. Also, I'm taking recommendations, bro, so hit the comments. And more hit on the way.